Hello, and welcome back to Cricket Daily for the 31st of January. As we talk some more cricket, we look back at what's happened in the last 24 hours, looking ahead to the next 24 as well, plus some breaking cricket news again today. There's always something happening in the world of cricket at this time of year. Of course, if you want to stay up to date with your cricket on the daily and ongoing as we head towards the T20 World Cup, make sure to hit subscribe, hit that bell icon next to it as well so you get notifications when we drop an episode. And of course, hit like on the video. If you've got some thoughts and takeaways, get involved in the comments as well. Don't be shy. We love to have some thoughts contributed. But, of course, if you want to stay up to date as well on our shorter snippets around our broad news content across all of our sports, make sure to follow our social media channels at The Chris Mack Show on Instagram, TikTok, X, and Facebook. You can find us on all of them, different levels of activity, different content across each, but we'll be there for each. Let's start it with the Under-19s World Cup. It is very much getting towards the end of the Super Sixes stage, and Afghanistan took on Ireland, and they've sealed their progress through to the Under-19 World Cup semi-finals. The Afghans, a thumping victory over Ireland, with the Irish finishing sixth in this Super Six group. Afghanistan won the toss in Harare, elected to bat. They did lose two early wickets before Faisal Shinazada took control of the innings with a masterful century, firstly pairing with Azarullah Nazai for a partnership of 75 before the real show began, as Captain Mahbub Khan came to the crease, and they added 188 for the fourth wicket before Shinazada departed for 163 from 142, as Mahbub took 89 from 79, was the last to fall, as they posted 315 for 7, setting a mammoth 316 for Ireland. Ireland's opening bowlers Ruben Wilson and Oliver Riley took the lion's share of the 7 wickets that fell in this one, taking 3 each. But then when it came to the bat, the Irish chase, well, it never really got going. They found themselves 53 for 5 after 18 overs, and it only improved marginally from there, as they were all out for 124 in the 41st over, as the pace bowling of Abdul Aziz with 21 for 3 and the leg spin of Akil Khan, 36 for 3, came to the fore. A massive victory for the Afghans, winning by 191 runs, really convincing for them, and books their spot in the semi-finals. Their opponent is still to be determined, however, and we'll wait and see how that shapes. The other game in the under-19s overnight was England taking on New Zealand, and England, they did enough, but they weren't exactly convincing, as you might expect from a side that's progressed through undefeated to this stage, as they consigned New Zealand to a winless World Cup campaign. The Kiwis campaign blighted by rain in the group stages, and it never really got better from there, unfortunately for them. England batting first were restrained by some good bowling for the Kiwis, as they had plenty of batters get start. 6 of their top 7 reached double digits, headlined again by Ben Mays. He got 53, but the inability of too many of their batters to really go on and make a decent score left something in the tank for England, as they reached 234 for 7 in their 50 overs. Looked a little shy of the sort of total they want to be posting if they come to the semi-finals, or when they come to the semi-finals. A host of New Zealand's bowlers used keeping their economy rate at under 5 and over, while 5 of the New Zealand bowlers shared in the wickets. The New Zealand chase began steadily enough, however, a loss of 19 for 3 between the 8th to the 17th over really put the brakes on the effort. Snehit Reddy tried to resurrect things but didn't have enough support, as English seam bowler Manny Lumsden claimed constant breakthroughs to finish with 17 for 5, one of the best bowling displays of the tournament so far, and his best return in the campaign, lifting him up to 13 wickets for the tournament ongoing. The win does book England's place in the semi-finals, though they have to wait for the outcome of tomorrow's India versus Pakistan match to know who their exact opponents will be. A win for India will see England play Australia, while a win for Pakistan would lock in a semi-final between England and Afghanistan. Moving on from there, we head to the Sri Lanka and England series, and a hat-trick for Sam Curran has seen England secure victory in the first T20 versus Sri Lanka, as rain impacted the match. After persistent rain had already forced a 90-minute delay, which reduced the clash to 17 overs aside. It returned again with England just 9 runs short of toppling a barely defendable target from Sri Lanka of 133. The ground already covered by the ground staff's heavy tarpaulins at this point. The match was called off with England 11 runs ahead of a DLS adjusted target of 114. Recapping the Sri Lankan batting lineup, well, they never really fired here, with Kusal Mendes 37 from 20, the wicketkeeper, one of only 2 players to pass 20. Things looked reasonable as the hosts got off to an okay start. They were 76 for 1 after 7 overs, and it looked like they could post a significant total. They then lost 57 for 9 as first Adil Rashid, 19 for 3, struck to claim 3 of the top 5 batters before Curran's hat-trick, claiming captain Shanaka, followed by Mahesh Theksana and Mathisa Patharana, put any revival to bed as Sri Lanka were all out 4 deliveries shy of their scheduled 17 overs, reaching just 132. England looked to have things in control for most of their batting innings as Phil Salt showed again why he owns a spot at the top of the order with 46 from 35. Tom Barton then chipped in with an explosive 29 for 15 after a couple of wickets rocked the chase, with Josh Buttler and Jacob Bethel departing. They reached 125 for 4 at the end of the 15th, England, and then they took that win via DLS once that rain had returned again to lead the series 1-0. So that's a recap of what has happened. Time to head to the breaking news. And there will definitely be a coaching shake-up in New South Wales cricket for both New South Wales and the Sydney Sixers, with confirmation today that an incredibly disappointed, and I'm always surprised when they describe sacked coaches as incredibly disappointed, Greg Shipperd has been axed from both roles. I don't know what other emotions he'd be feeling other than incredibly disappointed. That might be the lightest of his emotions. It was announced in a statement from Cricket New South Wales that Shipperd, who was contracted until the end of the 26-27 season, will leave his post at the end of this Sheffield Shield season. Cricket New South Wales called Chief Executive Lee Jamon called it a difficult decision after New South Wales' poor form in the Shield, remembering, though, that Shipperd led the Sydney Sixers to the Big Bash final. Cricket New South Wales has said it will start the process of identifying a new coach for both the Blues and the Sydney Sixers, with no confirmation as to yet as to whether the successful candidate or candidates will hold both positions or they will be separate. So, unfortunately for Greg Shipperd, he is an absolute veteran of the game, and I'm sure he will land on his feet somewhere else with another coaching gig in the not-too-distant future. Well, let's now go to look ahead. A busy day ahead with cricket starting this afternoon with the Super Smash final. The New Zealand domestic T20 competition will be Northern Districts up against Canterbury, and Canterbury will look to eye another upset in Christchurch. They get to host the final despite finishing third on the ladder as they take on Northern Districts, who finish on top of the ladder at the end of the regular season. Canterbury knocked out the second-place Auckland in the Eliminator Clash yesterday, a 3-team finals in a 6-team competition for the Super Smash, chasing down the 106 target they were set in just 10.3 overs. So they did well. They bowled Auckland out for 105 and then chased that down 1 down. So they're in some good form leading in. Northern Districts did take the chocolates when these two met early in January, the 8th of January in Hamilton, District's home ground. They set a target of 241, headlined by opener Katini Clark's 97 from 58, which Canterbury fell well short of, 89 runs short, as Matthew Fisher claimed 3 wickets for Northern Districts. While their second match in Christchurch 6 days ago was unable to be completed after rain interrupted play at 4 for 124 in Northern District's first innings. So no result possible there. So Districts hold a 1-0 record this season. Katini Clark will be one of the players to watch for Northern Districts. He is the top scorer across the series of the Super Smash. 398 from 8 knocks so far this tournament. Northern Districts also boast the leading wicket taker in Scott Kugelin. He's got 17 wickets at under 14, and he's also very handy coming in with some late hitting with the bat so far in the Super Smash. Or Canterbury, I think they'll be relying on their New Zealand cap players such as Tom Latham, both with the bat and ball, Henry Nichols, and fast bowler Michael Ray. Be interesting to see. I think Districts will head in as favourites, but it's probably balanced out a little bit by the fact that Canterbury do get to play in front of their home crowd here. I'll go Districts to get it done. They've been the most consistent side all series and all season, only losing the 1 game so far. We head now to the Under-19s World Cup and one of the final games of the tournament. Zimbabwe up against Bangladesh. Realistically, it's just pride on the line here as the hosts look to claim their first win of the tournament, while Bangladesh will look for their second win after they close the group stage with a win over the US. It would be a wonderful story here if the home side could chalk a W. We'd love to see the hosts get it done, but it seems probably unlikely given the depth of Bangladesh's squad, who will be disappointed with their performance here and they'll be wanting to get another win. That depth will likely come to the fore with their expertise, especially with the ball in hand. Zimbabwe will need to bat and bowl at their zenith. We've seen some good moments from their batting. Their bowling probably hasn't quite fired to the same level so far if they are to chalk the upset. But what a tale it would be to end their on-field hosting at this tournament with a win here in Harare. Plenty more cricket still to get through. Pakistan and Australia head into their second T20 as they eye off this T20 World Cup. And Australia, it's fair to say they'll need to step up their efforts against Pakistan's spin threats in Lahore in the second of these T20 matches. Whilst they are boasting a significantly less experienced squad here, there would certainly be some concerns, and Adam Zampa was quoted talking about this in the press in the lead up to this game around the display in the first match 2 days ago. Subcontinent conditions have regularly challenged Australia's sides in the past with low bouncer challenge, especially for greener players who haven't spent as much time in leagues like the IPL or on tour in India, Sri Lanka and Pakistan and even Bangladesh. It'll be interesting to see if Australia elect to bring in the likes of Mitch Marsh and Josh Inglis after they join the squad post BBL title celebrations from the Scorchers for this clash, or if they hold off on them. They've certainly shown a want or a proclivity to err on the side of caution with game one, and even for the selection of this squad for this series with names like Glenn Maxwell rested. The question mark will also be on Pakistan's side of things, and this could be a bit of a concern really for Australia because Pakistan were far from their best in the first game, but they did enough to win the opener. They know they'll need to build further into a consistent lineup if they want to threaten this T20 World Cup. Unfortunately for Pakistan, consistency in big tournaments has not been something that's necessarily gone hand in hand for them previously. This is going to be an interesting one for narratives heading into the World Cup. I think we'll be able to take a lot more from this than we did from the first game. Again, look for the likes of Adam Zampa to continue to build his repertoire. Cameron Green to go on with his batting. Travis Head, can he find some form as well for the Aussies? But for the Pakistanis, they need to see some more out of the likes of Babar Azam and some of their experienced players. We move on to the fifth T20, the final match in the series between India and New Zealand. And it's a box office series. It comes to its next and final stop in Trivandrum. New Zealand, they'll be boosted. We talked about the Perth Scorchers players coming in for Australia potentially. They'll be boosted by Finn Allen, fresh off his BBL title winning season. He topped the run charts for Perth with 466 at an average of 184. It's important he uses this as a full dress rehearsal for the World Cup. He hasn't seen much action previously in these subcontinental conditions. Just 3 matches in the T20 format and 3 in the one-day format back in 2023 in India under his belt. For India, they'll be hoping a return to the home ground of Samju Samson will see him tally some runs. He's kind of been the glaring omission in their batting scores so far as they look to use this dead rubber for experience in game time for the limited few of their players who are yet to hit their stride leading into the home World Cup. This match being a dead rubber, absolutely anything can happen. These two sides may just throw caution to the wind or they may just take some chances on the squad naming as well. They'll have to use it as a building block for the World Cup ahead, but again, it may give us some glimpses into a few more players. And last but definitely not least, South Africa and West Indies will wrap up their T20 series with a third T20 match. The third and final match of the series will be South Africa's first ever pink day as well, which is exciting to see them embracing that we've seen. Obviously, Australia do so well with the McGrath Test and the McGrath Day at the Sydney Test. Both sides will use this as the final tune-up. South Africa have been clinical chasing in the first 2 games, and I'm sure West Indies would love, if the coin falls the right way, a chance to have a crack at chasing. With the top order doing the bulk of work for South Africa, there hasn't been much chance for Jason Smith as of yet, so will they try and push him up the order if needed to get some batting into him ahead of the T20 World Cup, especially with the uncertainty around Davey Miller's T20 World Cup availability, as he continues to recover from a groin injury. While for the West Indies, as much as I'd love to finish with a win, I think the focus will surely be on their fielding, which is off the difference in big-ticket finals matches at the World Cup if they can make it that far. They put down 2 key batters with costly results in previous games, and on top of those 2, they've been sloppy near the boundary and have to tighten up as the major tournament looms. In terms of the squad, South Africa may make a sole change to give Lungidi Ngidi some game time, while for the West Indies, they've not used Shamar Joseph at all, which has been a bit puzzling, but the Wanderers is the absolute ideal ground to roll him out. You may also see them bring in their, wildcard selection that surprised a few into their World Cup squad, Quentin Sampson, to get some game time and some batting ahead of the World Cup. Expect him to probably bat in that middle order. What do we expect here from the Wanderers? Well, runs, this ground is known for 200-plus totals. There'll probably be a little bit of rain in the lead-up, but it is projected to clear before the action gets underway. So it should be plenty of high-octane batting, chewing your fingernails down, nerves for the bowlers. It'll be interesting to see who decides to bat first, but we can't wait for it. This has been a great series so far. South Africa lead 2-0. Can the Windies get some momentum into the World Cup? Only time will tell. Well, thank you for tuning in again to another Cricket Daily, this time for the 31st of January as we bid adieu to the first month of the year. As always, make sure to hit subscribe to keep up to date with all of your cricket content throughout the year. Hit like on the video so we can continue to grow our platform and get involved in the comments. Tell us which tips we've got wrong. Who do you see making a run towards this T20 World Cup or anything else you want to throw in there? But until next time, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to follow along on our social media channels. You can find us at The Chris Mack Show. And we'll talk to you again soon for another Cricket Daily on your home of the black and white of sport. No grey opinions here.